Joining us at the beach today, Steven Jackson.
One of my favorites. He talks about all the stuff. Honestly, let's talk to him a little bit. Steven, you've come on this show wildly entertaining. We've talked about all the stuff in your past. I'm wondering, even though you don't do a lot of regret, is there any one thing that you'd like a do-over on? A little bit of a do-over that you just go back, you're very loyal, but you just go back and change something a little bit?
Well, two things. The only two times I've been in trouble in my life, you know, I definitely would have went in the stands and to help Ron, but I wouldn't have threw a punch. I wish I could take that back. That's $3 million that I need, that I could use. You know, $3 million for one punch, at least let me knock his teeth out or knock him out. Or, you know, or let me get 4 or 5 punches where I can make him remember that butt whipping, you know, for $3 million. But I also regret, you know, the strip club incident. You know, I don't regret being there for my teammate, but I regret pulling the gun out and being, you know, all Port Arthur, Texas, which is where I'm from. You know, that person came out. So I definitely regret that because it overshadowed all the great basketball I played. You know, it overshadowed me. It stopped me from being an all-star. You know, it overshadowed all the great basketball I played. So that's the only two things I regret.
Well, and that Tim Duncan calls you the ultimate teammate. There is a lot of good stuff on that resume. I'm wondering, though, when we talk about what it is that we're talking about, when's another time that all the Port Arthur has come out of you? Like, when does someone need to be careful because here comes Port Arthur?
Anytime you disrespect anybody with me or anybody I love, I think the last time I had a Port Arthur incident was with Steve Francis when I had the concert and I was paid to perform. And I don't know what he was going through at the time, but he jumped up on the back of my show and started rapping and acting like he didn't know the words, and he was kind of inebriated and ended up falling on me and all this type of stuff where I had to turn around and choke him out for a second. And it was all on the internet. And I apologized to him because I didn't know what state he was in, but he was in the wrong state at that time. You know, and I had the whole city of Port Arthur with me at that point, and I just felt once his crouch, his belt buckle hit the back of my neck, all bets off. Now it's time for somebody to get their ass whipped.
Can you tell us honest feelings about Chandler Parsons? What do I have to do? I've been told by sources that if I ask you about Chandler Parsons, I'm going to get something that's good.
You know what? It's people want to make it more than what it is with me and Chandler. It's not personal. When I get asked about things, Dan, as you know, I give my honest feelings. And when a guy makes $100 million in the NBA and averages 9 points, as hard as I worked for the money I got, and he doesn't appreciate the game, then I say something because the game has done a lot for me. And I'm not just speaking from my opinion. I'm speaking for everyone who loves the game of basketball, for every fan that spends their hard-earned dollar to buy their kids tickets, you know, for every fan that's been lifetime ticket season holders. You know, all those guys that love the game, I'm speaking for them because when you make that much money, you should appreciate the game and play harder, and I don't think he's one of those guys. He's not the only one, but he's a great example for making $100 million and just not giving a care.
Are there a lot that you would name by name? Because I don't feel like a lot of analysts do that. Like, there are a lot of guys that you would point to and say their name on, that guy doesn't care enough.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of guys, and I don't mind saying it. One thing about it, like I say, respect it or check it. If you don't like what I say, I'm always around. I'm everywhere. If you see me, if you feel brave enough to say something to me about how you feel about it, I'll respect it. You know, I'll respect it because, you know, opinions are like everybody has one.
Are there any guys in the league that you don't feel confident calling out? You mentioned bravery. Anyone that you stay away from?
No, because I'm not scared of anything. Only thing I was scared of God and weddings for the longest. You know, because I've been divorced, and God and weddings are the only things I'm scared of, but I have a girlfriend now, so I'm not scared of weddings anymore. But I'm not scared of nothing that breathes the same air as me. Nothing, not at all.
And that's always been the case. Like, if I put anyone in front of you where Steven Jackson's going to notice, oh, this person is also not scared. Oakley, anybody we've come across, who's the name that you think of?
Well, nobody. Like,
okay, fair enough.
I mean, definitely, like, guys like Oakley, like, I have so much in common with him that we can argue, curse each other out, and 10 minutes later, I have so much respect for him that we'll go to the bar and drink together. Like, guys like that, I relate to. I don't relate to guys that never been through anything, never been through any hardships or ups and downs. I don't relate to guys that grew up with a silver spoon. I can't relate to them. So the trouble guys, the guys that people run from, I'm identical to them. They're my twin brothers.
What's the relationship like that you would point to? Give us a name of the guy you're most likely to have those blow-ups with, but you're also such brothers that you will go right to the bar afterward. That's normal part of the relationship.
Baron Davis and Al Harrington. I get into it with I used to get into it with BD almost after every game because he's one guy that wanted the best out of me. You know, when I got thrown out of games, BD wasn't the guy to sugarcoat it. He'll come to me, Jack, you tripping, you being an idiot, we need you in the game. We'll go back and forth, but he's right. When we leave the game, we're in the same car. Baron Davis and Al Harrington are two of my best friends, and we can argue like brothers, but it doesn't go farther than that.
Poppy, what do you have for Steven Jackson? Go ahead, Poppy.
Yeah, Steven, when you played in Santo Domingo and in Venezuela, what was your favorite food that you ate there? Your favorite
man,
food?
of course. You know, I'm a chicken guy. I can't lie. Arroz con pollo. You know, that's my habichuela. You know, that's my favorite dishes. But I'm gonna tell you what I fell in love with in Venezuela. Presidente beer.
Oh,
Presidente. It's the best beer I ever had, and I had it with tomato juice. So you know what I do now when I'm on planes? I miss my Dos Equis and all my other beers with tomato juice. I fell in love with it. It's called the red beer.
All right, there you go. All right, a terrible question begets a good answer. Thank you, Steven. We appreciate it.
Anytime.
Gracias, Steven. Gracias.
Have a good one.